Mr. Grayton. I will be your attorney representative today. I'll take you on a tour of our courtroom, so I just wanted
Wait,
to...
I don't want to be the accused. I want to be, the chef.
Here,
Let's just go to the thing and
Okay.
we'll
We'll
assign our
figure it
roles
out.
there.
You're going the wrong way. This is the lobby, and this is where people are supposed to kind of wait until their court time comes. Just like the hotel, you could look into the lab. And
Okay, I like the design of the benches, man. It matches like the carpet and the materials around in the room. It's cool. I like it. Okay.
If we walk in here, there is a mural on the right, which leads to an elevator that goes up to where the judges usually reside. This mural's cool. It's like a serpent dragon thing and a deity.
Yo, we're in the chef's kitchen.
Each of the justices have their own office. Which one is yours, sir?
Okay, which one is yours?
This one's mine.
Okay, I'm gonna pick the furthest one away from that one, but I'm gonna be way down there.
Oh, okay. Oh, actually, this is my office.
Okay, I'll be right back.
This is gonna be a portal for the justices to travel to the other courtrooms.
Life is very busy as a Chief Justice, Max. You gotta walk all the way down this hallway every time. By the way, there's no bathrooms on this floor, so you have to go find one. And you gotta walk all the way down over here. Very big building, but there's like 4 people that work in it, so, you know. And then we're walking here. And then we walk out of here. And then we walk back in. And this is the first of many courtrooms here in the building. I'm not gonna break. Yeah. Where the convicted is in the middle, right?
Yeah, in this world, yeah.
And then that's where the defense is.
Usually in a court, there are usually 3 type of people. One is the actor plaintiff, person who is seeking legal help. There's also the reused defendant, the person who's being criticized for a problem. Oh, and then there's that jackass over there, the judex or judiciary power, who usually examines the truth of the fact and it makes the final judgment. 8D. Oh, it's a penis.
Too long.
There's like a deity who has 3 heads that represents the court system here, and then each of the heads represent a different power. This is the court of power, and then
court of power.
Yep. And then
That sounds awesome.
2 other courts. For some reason, I have 4 here, but there should be 2 other courts, and one is the court of balance, and the other is the court of impartiality. And so this should be the court of balance, or no, impartiality.
How'd you come up with the designs? Like, all the courtrooms are so different.
So impartiality and power, I think, is actually like terms used for what represents the American judiciary system, which is where I got the 2 names from. Maybe balance too, but I had the 3rd one, which we're gonna go to after this one, in my head, and then the other 2 are kind of based off of the word that I got from my research.
Okay, dude. You kind of popped off with this one. Not going to lie.
This one is what I had in my head and what I wanted to build the most. It is the Court of Balance. The room we're in right now is kind of like the Supreme Court role if this were America. America is split into vaguely 3 different types of courts. The top one is the Supreme Court. What do you think the other 2 courts are called? I'll give you a hint. The middle one, the name is connected to electricity.
Outlet?
No. But that's a good guess. Circuit Court. Electricity, circuit.
Court.
Circuit, yeah. And circuit refers to just like a bundle of states. The 13 colonies were separated into 3 circuits. I think it was the eastern, middle, and then the southern states. And then at the very bottom is the district court. And district court is usually the go-to. It's like where most people go to and get their problem solved. And if the district court faces a problem where they're like, okay, this problem, either we can't solve it, or it's a problem much bigger than just this district, then we send it up to the circuit court. And then if the circuit court feels the same way, then they bring it up to the Supreme Court.
I wish I understood it all.
Understood what?
the government.
Yeah, so actually today, instead of talking altar courtrooms, we're going to be talking a little bit more about our courtrooms. And I've done a bit of research. So, Sir Chef, if you would just sit down, I'm going to lecture you down there. Court, judiciary power, judicial power. There are a lot of terms you've probably heard of, but don't really understand what they mean, such as judicial review.
Okay, wait, let me guess. I got nothing.
Okay. Judicial review will go back to it, and I'd like the viewer to know that this is very simple research. I haven't conducted like with magnifying glass type research, so there are some parts that might be incorrect, but I listed a few things that I thought were interesting. Let's start with, what do you think was arguably the first ever court problem?
Slaves. No. It's probably some like dumb shit about land.
Wow, that is close. That is very
Really?
close. That is.
What was it?
It was actually about canals and the distribution of water. So the first ever court, and it's not even really a courthouse or a place, is said to be conducted at the Tribunal de las Aguas, or also known as the Water Court.
Where is that?
It is in Valencia, Spain.
Oh.
It is located right outside of the Cathedral de Valencia. And it is said to be built by the Romans initially, but its judicial role started a little after that under this kingdom called the Al-Andalus. And this Al-Andalus is a Muslim kingdom that reigned much of the Iberian Peninsula. And like I said before, rather than a place, it's kind of a holding. So outside of the Cathedral de Valencia, a bunch of farmers gathered because the rulers of the Al-Andalus created canal within the dry lands that occupy the peninsula, and by creating these canals, it created disputes over the distribution of water among the farmers. Actually, 8 farmers from each of the canals gathered as justices to listen in on the residents' complaint. It's not like the court we visualize today, but it is definitely the blueprint for what we have today.
Right.
And fun fact, this water court still continues to this day.
Really?
Apparently it is valued as a long tradition, as well as they still have power given by the government to determine certain things too. So I wonder what they like talk about though. I feel like,
Dude,
yeah.
they're sitting in a circle? That's kind of freaky. You see how they're just sitting in a circle in their black robes?
Outside too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think they talk about, man?
Be judged by those guys. You think that's how it's going to be in the future? Water's going to be like a, what's the word I'm looking for?
Rarity?
Yeah, like rarity or something that you use as like money.
Oh, you think it's gonna be a type of like currency? That's actually really interesting.
Oh my god, like some Mad Max shit.
Imagine being able to eat a $20 bill, because that's essentially what this is about, right?
If I had to eat one of the homies, I would do it, but I would like remember him before I ate. You know what I mean? Okay, so apparently the president can't do shit. That's what I've learned.
What?
In order for the president to do anything, he's got to like get a bunch of the homies, like the Supreme Court dudes and ladies, to like sign off on it. He's got to get the House of Representatives on that shit.
So, do you know the 3 different branches of the U.S. government?
I'm Canadian.
So there's the judicial branch, there's the legislative branch, and then there's the executive branch.
Yes.
The judicial branch, just think of Supreme Court. It's court. Anything court-related, judge-related, that's judicial branch. And their job is to interpret the law. And then there's the legislative branch. And legislative is largely split into 2, and that is the House of Representatives and the Senate. And this branch usually makes the law. So if the House of Representatives think of a law, then they have to send it to the Senate, and then the Senate has to give like an okay. And then I think that after that, the Senate has to send it to the president, and then the president can either veto it or not. Which is why a lot of people are complaining how long the process takes, right? Because it goes from one house to the other, and then the other for it to finally get the green light.
Gotcha.
And then there's the third branch, which is your favorite president. And their main power is mostly military oriented. They are the supreme commander of the nation. If we go to war, they are the general. right? They kind
Really?
of, yeah. One way the president impacts the judicial system is that the president has the power to appoint the justices, which is
That's kind of huge.
pretty huge. Justices, unlike presidents, their term is lifelong. They could be justices as long as they want until they retire or they die. Have you ever heard of Marbury versus Madison?
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of the famous ones that you learn in American history. So James Madison won against John Adams in presidential election. Remember how I said the president appoints the justices? Right before John Adams left as president, he appointed one person, or I think like maybe even more, like 2-3 people into the Supreme Court system. James Madison wasn't really okay with that. Meanwhile, the justices, they were trying to do their job. However, to do their job, they had to get this certificate that said you could do your job, but they never got the certificate. And James Madison, he was just like, I don't know where they went, man. I don't know. I probably like somewhere in my desk. I'll look for it. I'll send it to you maybe tomorrow. But he never sent it. He had it, but he never sent it. And then one of the court justices, the name's Marbury, was like, I don't think that should kind of be allowed. You know, I need to do my job. I need that certificate, Mr. Madison. So this court case went all the way up to the Supreme Court, and this guy called John Marshall, who was already appointed by John Adams before, was like, I don't know. You know what? You're right. You do have the right to get the certificate. But I also think that the Supreme Court doesn't have the power to decide on this type of matter, because we're talking about what the president could do and cannot do. He was like, this Judiciary Act that we placed before is kind of giving the judicial branch too much power, which isn't very constitutional. John Marshall, with this court case, he said something along these lines. We should establish a system called judicial review. There's the word, judicial review, which everybody's heard of, but nobody really knows what it is, right?
What?
And the judicial review basically says the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Whenever there is any dispute about the law between Congress and the Constitution, then the Constitution always wins. Constitution number one. Which is why people are having such a fucking difficult time banning guns, because guns, according to the Constitution, is our Second Amendment right. And according to judicial review, the Constitution always comes first. Say it with me. Constitution's number one.
Constitution's number one.
Constitution's number one. And then above that, there's Takumi. Okay, say it with me. Constitution's number one. And above that, there's Takumi. Constitution's number one. And above that, there's Takumi. I can't hear it from you. No. You didn't even get like a syllable correct. Only when you have a murderous intent inside your soul. So you're saying on a daily basis you don't eat beef, pork, chicken, or any type of meat.
No, I eat it almost every day.
You eat it, so you have a murderous intent inside you every day.
What's your point?
My point is, Judge Honor, this guy is trying to kill a person every day, and I don't think I want to be in this room with him any longer. No. Oh God.